Hello, let's get started with the stretches. These can be done in a chair, and I have a yoga block with me, but you don't have to have one. If you're in your hotel room or wherever you are while you're here in our city, you can use a book or maybe something that is about this height, maybe a carry-on bag, something that has a little bit of that firmness to it that'll let you support your hand as you come down to the side, which is what we'll do in a few minutes here. So we're going to get started with stretching in the upper body. We're going to go through 10 areas, 5 upper and 5 lower. And by the time we're done, you will have stretched and created movement and a little more mobility and a little less pain in each of these areas that we're going to talk about. So for the upper body, it's the neck and shoulders, biceps, triceps, the forearms, and then the lats. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and do head circles. Take your right ear and just drift it over to the right shoulder. Just let the right ear hang out here. And then if you like, you can drop the left hand. Just to give your neck a little bit of a moment here to stretch. This is the upper trapezoid that's getting stretched here. You can hold this for as long as you need. You can also have fun with it by swinging the arm. You may begin to notice just that slight shifting in the stretch as you move your arm up and back. So that is your right ear over to the right shoulder. Then you're just going to let your head fall back. So continue with the circle, come all the way back. The chin is coming up to the ceiling. Just going to do little mini head circles or head swipes side to side here, just to get the crunchiness out of the back of the neck. You're also stretching into the scaly muscles which are in the front of the neck. All right, now let's go to the left. So take your left ear and hang it over the left shoulder. Begin to just breathe here. I always talk about how the inhale is fueling your body with oxygen, but it's all about that exhale. And that exhale signals to the body to do what the lungs are doing. So the lungs are letting go and softening, and it's inviting the rest of the body to do the same. So left ear's over the left shoulder. If you want, you can hang that left hand down, or the right hand down, that opposite hand, creating distance from the earlobe down to the fingertips there. Feeling that nice stretch in the side of the neck, and if it feels good, you kind of swing that arm just to notice how the stretch lengthens and melts a little bit more with each of those little pendulum swings with the arm. Good. Now go ahead and bring the head forward. So you bring the chin to the chest and really see if you can let your head gently rest forward and let the chin come down to the chest. This is going to provide protection for the back of the neck, because you're not straining like you would if you're on the phone texting, but you're actually letting the head be supported by the chest. So just take a moment and spend just 5-10 seconds here in this gentle stretch for the back of the neck. And as you're here, you can begin softening the breath here, and if it feels good, maybe even softening and closing the eyelids. And then with the breath, we're just going to gently breathe in, maybe through the nose. And then send it out of the mouth. Exhale out of the mouth so that the body can feel that exhale. And inhaling in. As you continue to inhale in and exhale out, we're going to continue to curve forward. So each moment, each exhale, we're going to soften into the back of the neck. Slowly bring the head down, lifting my back away from the back of the chair. And it feels good to let my hands come to the side. So that might be what you choose to. Or if you want, you could just keep the hands on your legs and walk them down the front of your legs. We're going to go into the seated forward fold. It's a really great stretch for the back of the neck. And if your arms are hanging to the side, you'll feel an expanse in the shoulder blades. It's just a great moment to just get calm and begin inhaling and exhaling. Good. Let's do another big inhale, feeling the belly lift your body up off of the whack a little bit. And then as you exhale, feeling your body just melt back toward your lap as your lungs, ribs, and chest. And walk the hands up the legs. And then allow your back to just curve into the back of the chair there. So one vertebrae at a time, slowly rolling up, slowly stacking those vertebrae, coming back to that seated position. Just take a moment to enjoy that good feeling of that lengthened spine, the softened neck, and that moment of deep inhale and exhale. When you bring it up to the seated position, the oxygenated blood is still making its way up to your brain and giving you that nice moment of relaxation. So we're going to stick with that, hold on to that by continuing those inhales and exhales. We're going to move on to the biceps now. So go ahead and scoot up from the edge of the back of the chair a little bit. You're going to walk your feet out to about maybe as wide as the chair legs, a little bit wider than that. You're going to put your hands on your lap with the fingers pointing inward. And then what you're going to do is imagine that you're pointing the inner part of where your shoulder and arm meet. You're going to point that in toward the floor between your knees, in between the knees and in between the feet there. And this is giving that nice stretch for the upper pec and into the bicep. If you'd like, you can look away from that arm. So I'm leaning in on the left arm. I'm going to look up and over to the right shoulder. Breathe out and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling, so you can look over that shoulder a little bit more. Good. On your next inhale, go ahead and unwind that shape. We're going to go to the other side. So inhaling, and I'm letting that exhale send me to the other side. Sending this shoulder, the right shoulder, down in between the feet. Look up over the left shoulder. And inhale, exhale here. Good. Inhale, and now we're just gonna use that inhale and exhale to guide the shoulders left to right. So inhale, exhale to the left. Take the left shoulder in, inhaling, and going to the other side. Inhaling, exhaling, exhaling the shoulder down toward the dog or toward your feet like you were doing before. Inhaling and exhaling back down. Feeling that nice stretch in the top of the pecs, leading into the biceps. One more round. Good. Then come back up, scoot back toward the back of that chair there. Let your back feel supported by the back of that chair again. We're going to go right into the tricep press. Great way to get into that is to lift the hand and give yourself a pat on the back. So I've lifted my left hand, patting my left shoulder, giving my nice little thank you for showing up moment here. And then I'm going to take this arm and I'm going to send it back. So I can press into this tricep, either at the underarm, or I can lift over the elbow and gently bring that arm back. Now, if you need to, allow your right hand or right arm to rest on the top of your head, but not in the back, because if it's in the back, it's going to push down on your neck, causing strain. So if you need to, just let it rest on the top as you gently guide the arm back, stretching into the tricep. I'm inhaling and exhaling, as always, to signal to the body with that exhale. So inhaling with the fuel, I'm inhaling to fuel the body. And then the exhale is a signal to the body. So that is the release. What the lungs are doing, that is inviting the rest of the body to do the same. So inhaling to fuel the body. Exhale to release that stretch, feeling it from the elbow down and into the underarm. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling. And exhaling. And switch to the other side, giving your right shoulder a pat with the right arm and hand. And you're going to lift into that tricep stretch with the underarm being pressed or with the elbow being lifted back. Okay, so either way is good for that good tricep stretch. Once it's in place, you're going to continue that deep breathing, inhaling through the nose, fueling the body with oxygen. Exhaling out of the mouth. Almost feeling a release of not only the tricep muscle, but the connective tissue and the nerves around those muscles. As you're signaling to the body to let go. 2 more times here, inhale and exhale. You go ahead and release that arm now. We're going to bring the arms around in your front. Just give yourself this nice hug and feel the fingers maybe walk their way back toward the back of the shoulders, even rounding behind the shoulders. Just let yourself hold steady there. This is a great stretch for the tricep or for the deltoids and a counter stretch for the triceps. And as you release this stretch, you just use this arm here to guide the other one in and press it in a little bit towards you. Then we're going to switch sides. So this arm that I'm gently pressing in, I'm just going to switch and put it on the bottom and bring the other arm on top. So my left hand was on top. Now my right hand is on top. So doing the same motion, walking those fingers back toward behind my shoulders here to see if I can stretch down and into those shoulder blades. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, as you unwind that, you can gently use this underarm here, so the arm that was at the bottom, to gently press the arm that was on top in towards your chest here. So just a gentle press here, just continuing that nice stretch into the deltoids. Okay. So this is where the block is going to become handy. I'm putting the block on my left side, and I'm going to use it to catch my left hand, because what's going to happen is I'm going to lift the right arm up, just lifting it straight up. And then once it's reached its farthest point up, then I'm going to use it to guide my body over, stretching into the lats on the right side. And then as I'm stretching over, I can use this block to catch my hand to provide a little support, or I can just leave my hand dangling free. But I invite you to use something to just give yourself some support as you're gently stretching into this right side. So it doesn't take much. And once you found your deepest stretch, then you're just going to pause and hold this shape. But don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Checking in with the neck, making sure it feels nice and relaxed. You may want to nod it or shake it. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. As you're stretching over to that right side. Stretching over into the right side. Last inhale and exhale. Hold on up. We're going to do that on the other side. So I'm going to put the block on the right side. And I'm going to use my left hand to guide me up and over. So I'm stretching over to the right, but I'm going to feel it all down the left side body here. So the left lats. Nodding the head. Just using the block as support, and then using my left hand to gently guide myself over. Continue to breathe. So you're inhaling through the nose and out of the mouth. We're going to do one more stretch for the lats, and you'll stand up for this. If you'd like to stay seated, though, I invite you to scoot toward the edge of the seat. It still can be done seated. If you're wanting to stand, though, feel free to do that right now. So once we stand up, we're going to do something called block on the shelf. It's something I do in my classes I teach here. And it's an intense but really helpful stretch for the side of the body and then even into the hips. It's going to help us warm up into those hips there. So you're going to put the block in your left hand, and I'm only putting it here out to the side to help me know how I'm going to be moving into the shape. So I'm taking this left block and I'm going to swipe it all the way across. And you may notice that the left knee needs to bend a little bit to help you go all the way over to this right side. And once you reach that deepest stretch for yourself, you're going to feel the stretch all the way down the left side from the elbow down into the hip socket. You're going to pretend like there's a shelf up here and you're putting the block on the shelf. So reach that block up, reach that Look up, whatever it was in your hand, if you had nothing, just reach the hand up and over. Imagine it, you're grabbing something from a shelf. The shelf is higher than you think, so you've got to reach high and keep breathing. Woo-hoo. 2 more inhales, exhales here. Good, good. That is another type of stretch for the lats. It gets into the side and creates a twist, which is not only good for lifting your lower body and lifting your upper body from the hip socket and out of the lower body, but it's also going to help you warm up into that TFL, that little section right there on the hip. All right, we're gonna go to the other side, put the block in the right hand. And I'm just using this motion to swipe across and to keep my body safe. I'm gonna let my knee bend as it needs to. And then we're gonna put this block on this other side here. So lifting up and over. Trying to get that block on the shelf or the hand up there on the shelf to reach something. It's moving, so keep reaching. Move a little bit farther behind you. So you gotta reach for it. And inhale, exhale. And down, good. So those are 2 types of stretches for the lats. Really good things to do for yourself. So just twist into the body and literally help unlock the upper body from the lower body. They can move independent of each other. And a lot of that depends on how well you're moving in your hips, which is where we're gonna go next. I mentioned that we had a stretch for the forearms, and that one is simply placing one hand out and then pressing in at the knuckles or at the fingertips on the other, with the other hand. You're gonna feel that stretch in the inner part of the forearm. So go ahead and give yourself a quick little stretch there for the forearms. We'll change to the other side, taking the hand, flexing it out this way, and then pressing down either at the knuckles or at the fingers. If you press at the fingers, you're gonna feel a nice stretch in your fingers as well, which need your love and your stretching as well. Right? So go ahead and use whatever feels most comfortable to stretch into the forearm. Good. Go ahead and wring that out. Give yourself some piano hands there, flapping it out. Now we'll go to the other side. You're gonna put the hand down. You're gonna press in. See here, there we go. Press in to that hand on the other side, just like before. It doesn't take as much intensity this time because the outer part of the forearm and the wrist are a lot more tender than the inner part. So be careful with yourself as you're listening to your body. Listen to that forearm, listen to your wrist. All right, now we'll do the other side. Pressing down. So really good exercises and stretches for all the major areas of your upper body. So we covered neck and shoulder, biceps, triceps, the lats, and then our forearms.